Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our F1 23 driver career mode here on the channel. Hope you're all having a great day. Today we have the Monaco Grand Prix, of course the site of our first career win last season with the Aston Martin team. So this is going to be a bit of an exciting one to come back to that 1 season anniversary and hopefully have some success here now as we come in 8th in the standings ahead of Leclerc and our teammate of Yuki Tsunoda as we roll into the Monaco GP area. Now, I actually forgot to use the team name changer, so you're going to see the team say like Alfa Romeo again. Pardon that one. It'll be back to normal next episode where you see Connor Sport and BMW, but the cars still look the same at least now as we roll into this weekend for free practice 1 on Friday afternoon, ready to roll. You get a good look at that Haas Alfa Romeo, of course, rookie lineup there this season with Liam Lawson as well as Teo Porcher as we get practice underway here down towards turn 1. And you know, we have struggled obviously this season with the car being a little bit behind other teams. However, Monaco, a track where I feel like a driver can kind of make up for the car not being as good, so I do believe we have a good opportunity to run very well and maybe even compete for the podium, maybe even go for the win depending on how qualifying goes. But that's what it's going to depend on. What can we do in qualifying here? And I was pretty happy and pretty confident based off the pace and practice there, well ahead of our teammate of Tsunoda, but as well mixing it up with the guys on the soft tires. So we're going to roll into qualifying on Saturday afternoon at this point here now, and we of course have had our moments where Q3 has been a bit of a struggle to advance to, so really just trying to do that. If we can get to Q3 today, I'll be pretty happy, and I think if we can get to Q3 we can compete for a good qualifying effort. Lap 1 of the first session, it was dead last. I was like uh-oh, but I gained a second and a half on my second lap, and that would be enough to put us pretty comfortably into the now 8th position in Q1. Our team at Tsunoda advances Butler, Lawson, Piastri, Iwasa, all out, as well as Logan Sargent there in the Williams Martini. So Q2 now, trying to get, of course, a best time on the board, hopefully up towards the top 5 is kind of what I was aiming for. If we can put this car in the top 5 in Q2, I'm feeling pretty confident. P2! We go P2 behind Lewis Hamilton there, and I would go for a second lap, but I would do that, so that ruined it. Nonetheless, we maintain second. Tsunoda just barely advances over Porcher, Bottas, Gasly, Ocon, and then Aiden Jackson down there in 15th. So here we go then, getting our first lap underway in Q3. Tsunoda currently 9th, probably going to be slowest once I cross the line, and yes he will. You see we cross the line, but it's only P6, so we stay in it for one more lap. A lot more confidence in the car, good turn 1, and as we come through towards the end of sector 1, look at the time we're finding, nearly 0.2 of a second of a gain as we go down into the heavy braking zone, and of course this will lead us down into the slow speed hairpin. Now we've gained nearly 0.3. We lose it, but then we gain it right back down the exit, and Verstappen currently P9 on the board as we get ready to go down through the tunnel a bit more again. We gain a bunch into the chicane here, 0.4 of a second gain, and then hopefully we can eclipse that half a second mark. We do, 0.6 of a second. We are on track for a banger lap. We have been able to just put a marvelous lap together so far into the penultimate corner. A little bit deep, but not too bad. We still gain time, 0.8 of a second of a gain. As we come through the final turn, we lose a little bit. It's going to be about 7.5 of a second, and it's going to be enough to put us on pole position in Monaco. How about that? We will start from the front of the grid over Hamilton and Russell. Hamilton still winless on the season. Albon and Norris 4th and 5th. Our teammate of Tsunoda down in P10. Verstappen there in 9th. What a qualifying effort. Let's head straight to the grid.
Formula One returns to Monte Carlo once again today, home to the world-famous Monte Carlo Casino that first opened in 1863. And of course a certain road race first held in 1929. And there's no greater an occasion, no more valuable a win than the Monaco Grand Prix. The astonishing Circuit de Monaco is, for all intents and purposes, virtually unchanged since its inaugural race back in 1929. The faster cars of today ensure the 19 corners past the casino and along the seafront remain as thrilling as ever. A 2.1 mile lap here takes us around an entire country, yet never more than inches from the race-ending barriers. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Golden Boy lines up on pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Russell, Albon, Norris, Perez, Sainz, Leclerc, Verstappen, Tsunoda, Teo Pourchaire, Bottas, Gasly, Jackson, Butler, Oscar Piastri, Iwasa, Sargent, Ocon, and Liam Lawson. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. Anthony Davidson, a lot of talented drivers out on the track today, but what will stand out for you?
My focus is 100% on the front of the grid. Like you said, we're seeing a lot of strong competition across those positions, so it would be super interesting to see the fight for that front spot. Personally speaking, I'm hoping for plenty of overtakes.
Ready to roll then here from Monaco. That's going to be two seasons in a row where we have started on pole in the Monaco Grand Prix. We know what happened in the first one. We won. We're going to be doing mediums, 2 hards, as usual.
As the formation lap gets underway, the cars will begin their journey climbing high through the town before dicing down to the harbour side of Monaco. Arguably the most iconic venue on the race calendar due to its setting and, of course, the annual dose of glamour and drama. As the cars make their way back to the starting grid to form up and get ready for lights out, let's hope the race ahead today is a thrilling one that will go down as a memorable Grand Prix in the history books.
Okay, mate, I still don't know how you pulled off that lap yesterday. Today will be more challenging than last season, but give it all.
Yes, sir. Thanks, team, for the hard work this weekend. Let's finish this one off. I would say that was a perfect lap in Q3. I don't think I could have really done much better aside from maybe the penultimate corner. Outside of that, I mean, it was basically perfect for my standards anyways, and what I'm capable of doing in an open wheel car here now as we are ready to roll for the Monaco Grand Prix. The Haas for Romeo going to line up the back of the grid, and we are ready to go racing, looking for career win number 4, our second win in Monaco. 5 red lights, it's going to be lights out. We're on our way for the Monaco Grand Prix in Season 3. Hamilton, as usual, a bit of a slow start. Russell immediately up the inside into turn 1. He clears Hamilton for a second. In the background, Norris battling with one of the Ferraris as we continue up the hill and through towards the left-hander. Of course, this will take us towards the end of this first and opening sector. Looks like a clean start for everybody as well, which is what you love to see here in Monaco. Now everybody's just going to try and settle in there. You can see Alex Albon P4. That's Perez in 5th now. Leclerc actually a little bit further down. As you can see, Carlos Sainz in front of him, in front of Lando Norris, as well as Verstappen. And actually, that's Teo Pourchaire in the Alfa Romeo Haas that was able to get up into a good running position. So a great start from Pourchaire. He's into the mix as well. Our teammate of Yuki Tsunoda, not been a pretty start for him. He's got some work to do, as usual. He's dropped outside of the points now as we come through that chicane. I already nearly screwed it up. But we are going to have some extra pace right off the bat because look on the left side. Russell and Hamilton are both on the hard compound, so we will be able to maintain our gap pretty comfortably, but probably around lap 10 to 15, somewhere in that zone. We're probably going to start to fade a little bit. Those hards are going to start to kick in. That's when things are going to get interesting. So 2 different strategies for myself versus Mercedes today. How is this going to work? Remember, we are no longer working with Mercedes. That's no longer a thing. Of course, since we switched over to Honda, I'm hopefully going to have the Honda engine sound, by the way, for the next episode, so stay tuned on that as we come through already lap 6 of 39 grueling laps here. Now, and I wasn't really pushing that hard because the goal here in Monaco is always the same. Just don't crash and you're going to be okay. So I was just really kind of tiptoeing my way around this circuit. The only lap where I really pushed this whole weekend was in Q3, I felt like, there when we put it on pole position. But 1.2 seconds or so the gap. The Mercedes has a downright just power advantage right now over us on the straightaways. So that's where they're making time, and that's where my concern is for a little bit later on when my tires start to fade, and especially later in the race when they'll be on mediums while I'll be on the hard compound tire. That's going to be when things get difficult for us. We have the outright advantage right now, so we should be able to stay ahead. Lap 12, you can see though, the gap is starting to get reduced between myself and Russell, 0.7 of a second still. 1.8 seconds to Lewis Hamilton, who's just struggling a little bit there to maintain with us. So you can see the lap 14 coming to 15, opening up the gap now. Problem zone in the chicane. That's our teammate of Tsunoda who's gone around. That's going to bring out a safety car here in Monaco, and he lost it all by himself not even a huge accident, but I think that's our first ever safety car in Monaco in our career mode. The pit lane floods for everybody that was a part of that moment right there. Everybody ahead of it was not able to commit into the pit, so we would have to pit a lap later. We would come in with Russell and others. Lewis Hamilton, again, stays out for the safety car period. This is the second time this season this has happened. It happened in Miami as well. Is he going to stay out? Is Mercedes trying to play games? No, because Hamilton pits actually at the next lap. However, he's going to give up some track position and drop to about, I think, P8 because of that. So again, Mercedes are kind of dropping the ball here for the defending world champion, the now 8-time world champ Hamilton is, who will, in fact, restart P8 here. We have seen safety cars be a lot more of a common occurrence this season in this career mode. I don't know if maybe an update in the game changed how often they come out or not, but nonetheless, we're ready to go back racing. We are the control car for the restart, but now, I mean, you see on the leaderboard, Russell on the mediums, but we take off pretty early there, maybe catch him sleeping a little bit, but we know he's going to be hard to hold off for a while. Now, we're going to see the same thing. I'm going to be a lot stronger towards the end of this race, or I should be, than Russell, so you will see us really just trying to hang on until, I would say, a good lap 30 or so before we might even see a glimpse of this car having a bit more pace. But Russell is right there with us down this front straightaway at the end of these first couple of laps. DRS being back enabled again. Unfortunately, our teammate is Sonoda, really rough day for him. He's all the way down the order again. And Tail Porcher is looking like he might get some points here today now as we continue on lap 22. Actually, really bad penultimate corner. That might open the door wide open for George Russell, who's got DRS. He's only within a couple of car lengths away, and he's looking to the inside. I cover him off. He dives back to the outside. He's going to just simply destroy me into turn one and just drive around the outside. I drove deep into the corner and nearly put myself in the wall. If he didn't get clear, we would have clearly collided, but yet he still, I mean, just outbraked me. He just out-tractioned me, outbraked me, just drove right around me on the outside. I don't know what else I could have done right there. I covered off to the inside and just did the best I could. Russell takes the lead and takes over the Monaco Grand Prix. So now it's about being patient, sticking with Russell, but waiting for that turnover point for these hards to hopefully kick in enough to where we can make some headway on Russell, who's now opened up the gap to over a second and a half on lap 25. So very quickly, in a matter of moments, you know, one bad penultimate corner opened the floodgates, and he was a tsunami. He just took right through the opportunity and was able to go by us, and now we're 1.9 seconds, 1.8 seconds, kind of flirting around that 2-second area here as we close in on these final now already 10 laps of the Grand Prix. Monaco is such an easy video to make because nothing ever really happens aside from that one safety car. There's not much going on, so it's such an easy video to actually go through and do. 1.7 seconds a gap, but we're going to go through the grid here with 10 laps to go in Monaco.
What a season it has been for George Russell so far, and he looks to add another win to the column today in Monaco.
Owen will be kicking himself for sure after one rough corner led to him losing the lead. It's been a tough year for him and the team, but he clearly showcases that he has the talent to be up front.
You have to wonder, guys, if Red Bull will be calling him up sometime soon. We know there was potential going into this season, but I'm sure Owen will be a lot more open to the move now.
Aiden Jackson is not the top rookie today, as that belongs to Porcher.
Still a nice run from Jackson, but the Haas rookie is doing a great job after a great opening lap. Devon Butler continues to struggle, and I've been hearing there's already some internal issues happening at that team.
That team has had a film crew following them all season so far, and I've heard we may see some of that footage as early as next week.
Sonoda struggling hard today in 19th place. A day to forget for him as these last 10 laps couldn't take any longer for him.
And there you have through the grid here from the Monaco Grand Prix in these final 10 laps. Sonoda, Butler are the last two runners here in this Grand Prix. Now, as we continue on ourselves on this hunt to try and get back to George Russell, I said hopefully around lap 30 or so we would start to make some headway with the hard tires compared to his mediums. Well, the gap still quite a ways up there, 2.2, 2.3 second area. Another lap later, it's down about 2.1, 2.2, so it does look like we are making gains, but not quick enough. 2.2 seconds by the time we come back through to the line here now, as I'm nearly into the barrier on the left side. Might have scraped it just a little bit here. 2.3 seconds. Now it was down to 2 seconds flat briefly there, but just struggling to get it to come down. Really hustling this car. 1.9 seconds right there. Really starting to push the edge of this Aston Martin, see what it can do, as we got Albon just 2.2 seconds back, now 2.5, 1.9 to Russell. So the gap, yeah, it's coming down, but it's like a tenth a lap at the maximum, so it's just simply not going to be enough unless something drastic happens, like those mediums just fall off hard, because you can see lap 35 still 1.92 seconds. Ayumu Iwasa out of the Grand Prix, a mechanical failure for the Alfa Romeo, sorry, not the Alfa Romeo, the BMW rookie. He has had an up and down rookie season so far, but was showing some decent pace here today in Monaco now, but that's over and our race is over as well. The engine has failed for the second time this season. You've got to be kidding me. We talked about this, guys. A very short comment and we pull up in the exact same spot as Ayumu Iwasa. Our day is over. Second time this season. We had a podium run going. That was going to be our second podium of the year. So now I don't feel too bad about losing the lead, because we would have lost anyways, and it would have been even more heartbreaking if we lost it while leading the Monaco Grand Prix. But yeah, I mean, we've talked about this. It's unacceptable with these engine failures and issues that we're having here, even with the new Honda partnership. It doesn't seem to matter. I swear, I think the Aston Martin and myself thing is cursed, because many of you probably won't know, on my main channel, my Going channel, I did an F1 2021 series way back, and when I drove for Aston Martin, we had a lot of mechanical failures. I left Aston Martin, things got better. So the question is now, I mean, what do we do? We're definitely going to have some options here coming up, I think, and I would say we're probably going to have to get on the phone with Christian Horner and see what the plans are with Red Bull Racing there, to see one of the Red Bull drivers on the podium, Perez, as Russell picks up the win, Albon in second. Another great day for him as his teammate of Norris down in fifth. We finally seem to have somebody that is capable of beating Norris in the same car for the first time in this career mode. How about as well Telporcher picking up some points here for the first time in his F1 career. Very cool to see him pick up the first 2 points. But yeah, really frustrating. That's going to wrap it up, and the focus on the next episode is we're going to have to make a call to Christian Horner and see what's going to happen there, and see what the plans are, because my goodness, something needs to change. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.